Hello, everybody. So today I'm going over the group anagrams algorithm. So this one says to write a function that takes in an array of strings and groups anagrams together. Anagrams of strings are made up of exactly the same letters where order doesn't matter. For example, Settleman, Iceman are anagrams. Similarly, foo and ofo are anagrams. Your function should return a list of anagram groups in no particular order. So let's get started. So first things first, we have our array right here of all our words. So like what we want to input this array and we want to get back an array of arrays that has grouped words. So like yo and oi would be together, act, tack, and cat would be together, flop and however you pronounce this would be together. So let's get started. So here's our function right here, group anagrams, and it's going to take in an array. So the way I went about this is we're going to start by creating a cache of keys and values because like what we're going to do is, well, let's see, let's start here. Oops. We're going to return a final array at the end, so let final. So what we want to do is we want to loop through the words in this array, right? So to do that, we're going to use a for loop. So for let I equals 0, I is less than r dot length I plus plus. So we got our for loop here. Now, so what we want to do is we want to loop through these words, and essentially we're going to make a key in our cache that's equal to kind of a version of this string. So like what we can do with these strings is we can split them, sort them, and join them. So let me show you. So like let word equal r I dot split. So this is going to split every word at every character. Then we're going to sort all the characters and then join them all back together. So just to show you, word. Let's just go ahead and run this function. So you see, yo becomes oi, act as act, flop, flop, tack becomes act. You see how this is how we're going to match things. So this is what we're going to do next. So we have our word here, and we're essentially going to check if we're going to set this word to a key in cache. So we're going to check if it exists. So we're going to ask if cache word. So for yo, we're going to say like, does the key oi exist in cache? Okay. If it does, then we're going to push to that key the indices I, because we want to know. So like we want to know what indices it's at. If it doesn't exist, we're going to create a temporary array. Actually, we can just go ahead and put I in there, and we can say cache at word is equal to. Actually, we can just probably do this, right? Otherwise, we're going to set it equal to that indices. So let's do that, and let's go ahead and at the end we're going to console log cache. So you see here we have oi, act, flop, and foo with the indices of all the words that kind of correspond to that. So from there, we can just loop through this cache and append to final array the words that go with this indices, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say for let x in cache, and then let temp equal this empty array, let cache array, let cache array equal to cache at x. So cache array is going to equal to cache at x. So this is going to be like these arrays down here. And then we're going to loop through those. So cache r dot for each. I don't like writing it like that. For each index, we're going to push to temp these words. So like for each index, so it's going to get to 0, and we're going to push to temp here the word at in array, the original array at that index, right? So at the end, so for oi, we're going to get whatever's at index 0 and index 6. So we're going to get yo and oi pushed to this temporary array right here. So then once this temporary array is finally finished, then we're going to push that to the final array. And then at the end, we can return final array. Go ahead and console log that. And when we run the function, we get this. Run it without that console log, we get this. We get an array of arrays where we've grouped the words that are all anagrams of each other. So as far as the runtime for this goes, the beefiest part of our function is going to be up here. So the sort function, Veronica kind of went over this before. The sort function is n times log n. Looks like this right here. So because that function is in this for loop here, so it's happening every time for the for loop, our runtime is going to be m times n log n. And now the reason we specified differently with m and n's in this one is because so m is kind of describing the length of this for loop. So this for loop is going to run 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times here, whereas this sort is only going to iterate through the amount of times for the length of the word. So like for yo, it's going to be twice, for act, it's going to be 3, for flop, it's going to be 4, so on and so forth. So that's why we kind of, instead of just saying n times n log n, it's m times n log n. So that's the runtime here. And that is our group anagrams function. I'll post that in the chat.